Okay, welcome back. So in this video we're looking at number 5, which is solving an exponential equation. And we actually hadn't gone over a problem like this in class, so you will want to make sure that you follow along with this. It's not too difficult, but it's a little tricky. We've got a exponential function here, e to the 2x plus 5 e to the x minus 6 is 0. And we want to solve for what values of x will make this be true. Okay? And to do that, what we're going to need to do is essentially recognize this as a quadratic type function, right? If you notice here, you've got e to the 2x, and that's the same as doing e to the x squared, right? When you have exponents to exponents, you multiply the exponents. And then 5, just regular e to the x, minus 6 is 0. So if you notice here, what you're really doing is you have a quadratic type function just with e to the x replaced where normally there's x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a substitution for e to the x. So I'll say maybe y is e to the x and plug that into my equation. So e to the x in this part, right, that's the bottom of this. And so we just plug in y there. So we get y squared plus, there's just one e to the x there, so 5y minus 6 is 0. Okay? And now I know how to deal with this equation that I have, right? This is just a quadratic equation that I can factor and then set each of the factors equal to 0. Okay, so to factor this, we would look for things that multiply to negative 6 and add to positive 5. So things that multiply to negative 6 and add to positive 5. I think it'll be 6 and negative 1. That will do it. Okay, so this will factor as y minus 6, or y plus 6 times y minus 1. And we want that to equal 0. Okay. So then, what are my solutions for y? Well, y will be negative 6 and positive 1. Okay, those would be my two solutions from sorry, we got some glare going on here. Okay, I don't know if that's better. Maybe a little. Okay. So negative 6 and positive 1 are the two solutions for y, but I wasn't really looking for y originally, right? I was looking for x. So to find x, what I'm going to need to do is plug back in what y is. Well, y was e to the x. So really, by saying y is these two things, I need to have e to the x really equals negative 6, or e to the x is positive 1. Okay? Now, to solve for x in these, what I would need to then do is take a logarithm to get the x out of the exponent. So I would take the ln of both sides of those equations. When I take an ln of an e to the x, those cancel and I'm just left with x, the exponent. Okay? So I get ln of negative 6, or when I do the ln of this one, I get ln of 1. Okay. Now, ln of negative 6 doesn't exist, right? Because you can't take the log of a negative number, so that one's no good. But ln of 1, what is that? It's saying e raised to what power is 1? Well, what do you have to raise e to get 1? You have to do 0, right? Anything to the 0 power is 1. So ln of 1 is just 0. So that will give us x is 0 is our solution for this. Okay? So hopefully that helps with that. Just whenever you have e to the 2x and some e to the x's and a number, you'll have to recognize that as a quadratic and then factor the quadratic and solve for y, and then solve for x from there. Okay? So hopefully that is helpful. I will see you in the next video.